So I don't know if you guys know this, but Triangulum is a pretty dope galaxy, which is a part of our local group. Like, we have the Milky Way, Andromeda, and Triangulum is also a galaxy, which is what's inside of this group. Now, with that being said, I have been astral projecting here for maybe like 3 to 5 days, and I've learned a lot so far. Now, real quick, if you don't know me, yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. And in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys my experiences going to Triangulum. Or I should really just say more about what I learned. I don't gotta go in depth into every single experience now, right? But like this video, subscribe if you're new, and if you have the option, hype up this video. YouTube has this new feature where, like, near the comments, there might be a feature to hype. Like, try swiping right on the comments if you're on a phone or something like that. Then try to hype the video up. It gets it recommended to more people. Also, if you guys need help with astral projection, I have a course down below with the coupon for the course, and offer astral I also offer astral divination sessions, which can help you guys understand what you're doing in the astral, what's preventing you from being conscious in the astral, what you can do to become more conscious, all these different things, right? But without further ado, let's get into this video. So, a little bit of backstory, right? I want to talk about what Triangulum is all about. So before going here heavily, I always knew that whenever I went here, I would learn all about light, how light works, the different properties of light, how light's able to refract, diffract, reflect. There's interference and interference patterns, and there's a lot of things that are wrapped into the concept of light, right? And before learning about light, I learned about time and space because those are the two dimensions before light. And I'm pretty sure that light actually helps to make space and time. But by the way, yes, these are dimensions. The word dimension means a measurable extent of some kind, right? If you look it up on Google, that's what it means, like length, width, and height. You also have time, space, and light. And I learned all about time and space. I understand those pretty well, but I never fully understood how light worked, right? And all the different ways that light can work. And now I'm learning all about that, especially when it comes to our when it comes to this creation of Earth and the physical universe and how we experience it, right? Because I'm seeing that this is essentially a physical hologram. The CIA even talked about the holographic universe. I never really read what they said about it, but I know it's inside of a document, you know what I'm saying, that deals with the gateway experience. But when I say a hologram, right, the reason why is because you know how flat earthers say that the earth is flat? They're halfway right. The physical Earth, how we see it, is not necessarily flat. I have flown to space and seen planets and stars and stuff like that. But what I can definitely tell you is that when you go outside this physical universe and you go outside the creation of Earth, you can actually perceive Earth as a flat plane with the firmament over it, kind of like how the Bible describes it. So with that being said, I've experienced that and I've understood a good amount of how it works, like the basics of how it works. I'm still learning a lot about it, but I'm working on a PowerPoint right now. I already have 37 slides that talk about this. And pretty much the way that the light works, like the sun is projecting this whole experience, right? But the way that it does it is super wild. And the way that the light from the sun encodes the ether and eventually forms this black sun, which eventually helps to shape the information into an image. Then this image gets sent to the sun, then the sun projects it out. Then it makes the freaking flat plane project itself like a three-dimensional hologram that becomes physical. Like, it's crazy how it all works, but it's also pretty freaking dope. And that's what I learned a lot about. um I went to this one planet called a star. I'm sorry, but in this video I won't really have any pictures and stuff like that. But I might have showed a picture of the planet either on the thumbnail, or I showed a picture of the beings I was interacting with on the thumbnail, or I could have showed both or none of it. Who knows? But what I do want to say is that on this planet, I learned a lot about how light interacts with ether. Then there's these two other planets, right? One of them is inside of Triangulum constellation, and the other one's inside of Triangulum galaxy. And they're called Ethos, as Ethos A and Ethos B, and they teach all about how information gets coded and structured with inside of ether, but especially with like how information is laid out inside the ether, like understanding informational fields inside of ether. Because when it comes to ether has many different properties, and one of them is being able to get encoded with information that comes from light, because light carries information, and when light shines with inside the ether, it can actually encode this light with information. And now you have this giant field of information that is around the ether, but it's not like there's no image to it until the black sun forms, which actually helps to form an image that eventually gets sent to the sun and then projected outwardly. But I'm saying this because you could learn all about that in Ethos, right? Now this is important because when you start to understand like the information field for what eventually turns into Earth and stuff like that, you notice how certain constellations really do have a certain purpose. Like Triangulum is really big on structuring light. There's also a place called Horologium, which that's been popping up a lot. That has been popping up a lot, like all today. So I think I'm gonna be going to Horologium and stuff like that. Oh, I remember I said I was gonna mention how light kind of creates space and time, mainly because light helps to create spaces. Like you can make like for example, stars are essentially fixed dimensional spaces, right? They pretty much lead to different spaces where dimensions like time, space, and light are tuned in certain kinds of ways. You know what I'm saying? And the light helps to project that dimensional space. So I'm saying that because light helps to form spaces, and then time is the movement inside the space. But there's more to learn about that than how I just said it so simply. But anyway, when it comes to, dang, hold up. Oh yeah, Horologium. Horologium, right? That is a constellation that deals with time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if you were to like, cause like I'm about to get a map of the constellations, and it's gonna be like flat, and it's like that's kind of like how it is in the sense of like imagine like you have like a flat field of information, and then like for example with Orion, right? Orion is where timelines enter, is that's where multiversal timelines enter into our galaxy, right? You feel me? So it's like if you want to see it as an information field, that's the part of the field which wraps the timelines into the Milky Way, because it's all just information. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about these three main things: the sun, or the sun within the firmament, the sun without the firmament, or outside the firmament, and then the black sun. Because these produce three pivotal energies, right? And I was learning more about this. Well, this was like an Ethos lesson and a star lesson. You feel me? But with the black sun, right? The black sun produces black energy, right? Black energy is essentially the energy which structures information, and it's the reason why the information inside the ether is able to take on a certain image, and then that image could eventually be projected by the actual sun, right? The black sun actually helps to form the regular sun. You know what I'm saying? That's inside the firmament. But yeah, now, the regular sun, right, inside the firmament, that is solar energy, right? Solar energy helps you to express the information which is within inside of you, right? Because you can actually draw upon all, because like you draw upon all these energies, you feel me? It's pretty much what actually gives life to the information, right? And then you have spiritual energy that comes from the light outside the firmament, right? This energy is what actually encodes things with information. You feel me? So the the light outside the firmament is the first light to shine inside the firmament. But as a result of that light shining inside and also looping around the firmament, it kind of condenses at the bottom and then it forms into this black sun. You feel me? And then that black sun structures the information that came from the first light shining inside the firmament and then encoding the ether. You feel me? So it's able to actually take in these different energies, and then it's like I can now turn this information into a certain image, right? Into a certain holographic image that gets sent up, right? And then the energy from the black sun goes around the firmament but inside, and it meets with the light that's coming in from the outside, and these energies mix to make the physical sun that projects this reality outwardly. You feel me? So this is why when it comes to black energy when it's inside of you is literally the energy that's able to structure the information within inside of you. It even structures solar energy, right? Like when the sun's energy comes inside of you, right? When you receive solar energy, right? Or rephrase that. When you receive spiritual energy through solar energy, because solar energy inherently carries spiritual energy, because the light outside the firmament is shining through the physical sun, because before there's a physical sun, it's just the light shining through and coating the ether. But now that there's an actual physical sun, that light is like kind of filtering through that sun, so solar energy inherently carries spiritual energy, right? But it's the black energy inside you which actually is able to actually bring in the information and then structure it into your body and stuff like that. And then the solar energy helps you to actually express that energy. It helps you to express the information. So to keep it simple, spiritual energy gives information, right? Black energy structures information. Solar energy expresses information, you know? And these actually start to get linked with the concepts of Jing, Qi, and Shen, which are Taoist concepts in the sense of like your Jing, right? That's like your and also with black energy carries ethos. So not ethos, but ethos. Your ethos, right? I learned this from the Ashkenazi. Your ethos, right, or what ethos is. Ethos pretty much represents etheric spirits, or more specifically, you could say intelligent emotions, right? Like when you feel angry, you also think angry thoughts. The thoughts that you have when you're angry, that is showing you the intelligence of anger. That's why you can actually think angry thoughts and that you then feel the energy of anger, right? So anger would be ethos, right? It's an intelligent emotion. It's an etheric spirit, right? It's not a being, like it's not an actual being like me and you, or like a fucking like a demonic being, or no. It's just an intelligent energy that doesn't really have any form. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, right? Black energy carries ethos. It carries the etheric spirits also, and it kind of carries the blueprint of how it can be expressed inside of you. Then the solar energy is what actually expresses it. You feel me? So when I say that it structures information, it pretty much holds the ethos, it holds the etheric spirits, and it pretty much tells them how they're going to act inside your body. Now, this doesn't mean that if you absorb black energy, you're going to be absorbing spirits of anger, not necessarily. Because when you absorb black energy, you're actually aligning with the template of creation and aligning with your own divine template, which doesn't act from lower spirits. You know what I'm saying? So it literally is like you're realigning with the blueprint of the information which you were supposed to hold and how it was supposed to be expressed. You feel me? And when it comes to your Jing, right? Your Jing in Taoism is literally like people call it your sexual energy, but it's not just that. It's like the energy that makes you you. It's the energy that holds your it's the energy that holds your unique form of expression. You feel me? It's like it's the life force that says that you are literally you, because chi and shen, these are like your like the chi that I can gather is the same chi that you can gather. But me and you do not have the same jing. My jing is what separates us. The same way you could get spiritual energy, I could get spiritual energy. But you cannot get the same jing that I have, because my jing is pretty much chi and shen that's mixed with my own inherent soul's energy and my own inherent physical energy and stuff like that, which is why there's jing inside your sexual energy, because jing is made from the energies inside your body mixing with these other higher, metaphysical and spiritual energies. You see? So that's and when it comes to black energy, when you take in black energy, it aligns you with your unique, template of information and how it's supposed to be expressed. And then solar energy would be like chi. It's the energy that's all around you, which when you take it in, it allows you to have more ability to do what? Express yourself. You can actually do things and express the information. You know what I'm saying? Just like how solar energy is supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And then Shen is spiritual energy, which is pretty much that's pretty much used to like develop your consciousness and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And is used to tap you into your soul and your soul's information, which is what spiritual energy literally does. So this is where these energies this is where you could draw these energies from big time. You could draw Jing from the black energy from the black sun, which is that energy is sprouting up through the earth's core. You know what I'm saying? And then solar energy is all around you. You could absorb solar energy from the sun, from the air around you, and also from other stars. And then when it comes to spiritual energy, you got to tap into the light that's outside the firmament. The light that is also inside the solar energy. So pretty much tapping into energy that's kind of beyond the stars and beyond space and stuff like that. You feel me? And yeah, these are all different things I was kind of tapping into and learning that started from me going to Triangulum Galaxy. There's also like lessons that I got from Andromeda, which dealt with actually like harnessing the energies that get produced from like the black sun and the regular sun and stuff like that. Triangulum more or less just taught me how these things worked, you know? But also, the Egyptians helped a lot with this shit, by the way. Yeah, I actually was going to Egypt first, and then it's like while being in Egypt, they teach me certain things, and then they'll like send me like, okay, now that you understand this part, right, or now that you're learning this part, go to Triangulum. Now you know how the fucking light works. Okay, boom. To harness this shit, to learn how to harness it, go to Andromeda. So it's like Egypt is like the main school, and they send me to different parts of the galaxy, which hold information that I'm learning inside the school at that period of time. It's pretty freaking lit. You feel me? So yeah, it's pretty much the end of this video, bro. I don't have too much to say, but if you guys enjoy videos like these, make sure you like this video, hype it up if you can. If you guys have any video recommendations, you could leave it down below. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want some astral assistance, you could watch the videos on my channel. You can also book an astral divination session with me. You can also buy the course. That coupon still has not been used yet. You feel me? So that's free game to anybody who wants it, you know? But I'm pretty much done with this video. I'm going to end it right here. I love you all. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new. I love you. Catch my next video. Peace. The freak out.